Hey everybody, welcome to week 5. You have completed your first essay. Yay! Good work. I look forward to reading those and learning more about the background and history of your chosen topics. So now it's time to move into Unit 2. And our focus for Unit 2 is going to be analyzing argument. And so before we jump into that a little bit deeper, I want to first look at the word argument because I think that term has a really negative connotation in our society today. When we hear the word argument, we often think yelling and screaming and butting heads and winning and losing. But that is not what our argument is in an academic sense. And so we want to step back for a minute and hopefully kind of give yourself a clean slate about what argument is, what argument can be, and what argument does, both in the academic sense, but then how does that translate into our lives, our professional careers, our homes, things like that. Because what you're going to learn in this unit is that argument in an academic sense is about discovering truths, negotiating differences, and solving problems. Now, doesn't that sound great? Why wouldn't we want that in our professional and personal lives? And so through this unit, we're going to be exploring how does argument do those things? What components make up an effective argument? What strategies do we use to help us discover truths, negotiate differences, and solve problems? Because the yelling and screaming and the headbutting and the winner and the loser, we know doesn't work out so well in the end. So let's open our minds to what argument is and what argument can be, and what makes for an effective argument. So the first thing we need to be able to do before we actually employ those strategies is learn what the strategies are and be able to analyze them. Okay, so we want to be able to look at an argument and say, oh, this author is using this strategy, and I can see how those work together, and I can see how they're effective or not. Because argument is everywhere. And so even though we're focused on academic contexts, we are bombarded by arguments and the strategies all of the time in advertising, in politics, in the news. And so through understanding these strategies and being able to analyze them, we can actually become much more informed citizens, much more critical readers, much more engaged and productive professionals, because we won't just be taking all of this in at face value. We'll start to think, how did they do that? What are they saying to me? And what is the impact and effect of that? And then eventually, how can I use that in my own argument? How can I use these strategies effectively? And so analysis is something that we also do every day. So we're bombarded by argument every day, oftentimes without even realizing it. And we're also analyzing all the time, often not with arguments per se, but through daily decision making, we have to analyze the choices we make. So say you're looking to buy a car and you go to the car lot and the used car salesman just says, hey, I got the best deal for you. It's right over here. Beautiful. Take it. Now, that's his persuasion. But you're not just going to take that at face value. You're going to actually analyze the features of this car, the components of whether this is a good purchase or not for you. So you're going to look at maybe the mileage, maybe the tires, maybe the interior and exterior condition. Maybe you'll look at the records that the prior owner kept on it. What's the work that's been done on it? What reviews does this car get online? What does Kelley Blue Book say this car is worth? So you're breaking down all these different pieces to come back together and make a decision on the whole. And so that's what we're going to start to do through this unit, is start to look at a statement, an argument, and think, all right, let me break this down by the different strategies, the different components being used, and see, is this really effective? Is this really what they say it is? Should I believe it? And how do I become a more discerned reader, more discerned participant in this argument? And so that is what we're going to do through analysis. Analysis can be really tough for students the first time around. So we're going to really take this a lot slower and break down the parts of analysis and the different strategies of argument so that you can really understand kind of the underside, pop the hood on an argument and look what's making this argument run. What's the engine of the argument? And that's going to be our work for this unit. So you'll see Essay 2 assignment is posted right there. And I'm going to pull this up real quick because I want to show you a couple things. Your rough draft's not due till October 14th. We're going to be slowing down a little bit here and taking some more time because analysis requires more practice for students. It's not the summary and synthesis that you did from the background or history. It's really having to think and pull apart and understand the components and strategies to pick apart an argument. So your final draft will be October 21st. So I've given you the background to this assignment as well as the prompt. And then on the second page, just want to make sure everybody's aware that there's a sample outline here. So this is a recommended structure for your essay, as well as the requirements and the rubric, what I'll be asking myself as I score your paper. So as I've mentioned many times in Unit 1, you'll want to keep this essay assignment close at hand as you're working on it because it will keep you on track. Also this week, you'll be completing a quiz on chapters 1 and 4, and then you'll be creating a glossary as a class. So everybody is going to pick a couple terms from chapter 4 and contribute them to what we call this as a wiki. But when you click on strategies for argument there, you will see the lists, and all of these are from chapter 4, and then you will add by hitting edit, you will add a definition and example for 2 of these, okay? By hitting edit, you'll be able to get in here and add your definition example. There are 4 different wiki pages that go through the different terms. So over here on the right, you can choose, it's all in alphabetical order. But again, make sure you hit edit when you're ready to contribute the terms that you are going to focus on. So that is where we're headed for Unit 2 and Week 5. And as always, if you have any questions, reach out. I'm here to help.